Welcome, everybody. I tried doing this with VXAs and I found it extremely boring, and so I didn't even bother uploading any videos from VXAs. And then I just started with MV, and I'm like, oh, MV is just so much nicer. So, um, that is what we're gonna do today. We already have a game started, I should say, and I already named it Ultimify. And when I was trying to record it last time, Bandicam completely messed up on me, and it didn't record my voice. And yes, I had my mic on, the light was on. That's how I know it's on. And for some reason, it did not record my voice. I guess some of the settings got mixed up. Anyway, I was just going over the database. I was going over the little minor things like these things up here and the shortcuts up here, but really, I don't want to go over that anymore ever again because that is boring things, and most people who use this engine are going to know the basics of how to copy, paste, and cut. And I am on limited time, sadly. I can only do like 15-minute videos now, which is lame. And then Bandicam only wants to do 10-minute recordings, so then I have to record. Anyways, sorry, hit the mic. Not your guys' problem. It doesn't matter. So this is what I came up with last time. We're gonna have one character, and you'll be able to create your own character, and you'll be able to choose these four different classes. Whoops, we don't want. I do not want learn skill this way. I want you to be able to do that kind of thing on your own. I'm actually gonna make it to where whatever profession you choose, you'll be able to use whatever weapon that you want to. I am going to, however, try to find a way that you will not be able to use it as efficiently. I don't know how to do that yet, but that's what I hope for. I didn't bother with skills, either basics, good skills to start off with, for now. Uh, and I was saying this is how I like to section off the items, so like, they're not going to be this many potions, there's probably going to be more, maybe less, and there probably is going to be lots of food. Because for some reason, I like in games where you can craft your own food. Um, so yeah, I kind of went over this a little bit. I have 100 items, or 50 to start off with. I'm going to actually change that to 200 because I usually have tons of items. For weapons, I usually don't have much. This is the kind of setup I usually like to do. Like, this was the basis that they had, and I don't like that kind. I mean, it's okay, but I like more definition, I guess, with my weapons. So, like, you can get iron and make your own iron sword if you really want to. I know some people who don't like to craft in games, so that's cool too. You can always. How I see it is you'll spend more money to already have a crafted sword, or you can spend less money, or even just mine the iron yourself, or create the steel from the iron, and then you could just create your own iron swords, and that would take longer, but it would cost less. In fact, it could even be free. Um, so that's how I see things. That there's going to be few weapons that you can choose from, and that's the quality basis. I'm not going to have like they'll be like common and fine and exquisite or whatever. I'm not going to do that type. I mean, I'm doing that for my own game. This is just like a tutorial kind of video done in a nice format so you guys can see the process of a game, but it's still kind of like a tutorial. So the armor, I have heavy armor and then light armor. Pretty basic stuff for RPG Maker kind of games, and then you have accessories, and for weapons I usually have 100, but for armor I have 200 because once I'm done making all the different kind of weapons, there's tons and tons of accessories that you can do, and I'll show you what I already set up later. I didn't set up any new enemies. The basics are decent. I did change the stats though, so that they're more balanced out on what kind of creature they are. And I set the troops up accordingly. Uh, States I pretty much never use. That's usually just, whatever. Basic, like, some skills you can poison, so that's probably the only new skill I'll be making. And animations I did nothing because you don't really need to do any new animations starting off anyways. Um, Tile sets, I haven't found any new tile sets, so that's usually not really needed. And this is my favorite thing in the game, usually is common events. As you can see, I put 200 for now. I usually use a lot of common events. And before I downloaded scripts for VX Ace or for MV, I would always do most of that scripting kind of thing, I guess, into the common events. I like set up my own day-night cycle type of thing. Got the game name, currency, I'm not going to bother yet. I did not change the color of the window. Let's not do green, I don't like green. Blue is cool. Red's alright. Good. We're gonna do side view battle because I don't want another person who would not use it. And you do want to start with that if you want kind of cool. Like the start transparent, that just makes your character not visible at the start, and that's good for setting up a intro cutscene type of thing. And show player followers, that's just basically what one would want to do or not. Certain situations, I have the player followers visible, sometimes I don't. These don't really matter, I don't ever use them. I've never found any game where I would want to. That, well, you can just read it for yourself, you don't need to bother with that. And I already changed the music to my liking for now. And I changed this, although staff would be a cane, I don't know why they call it that. And a bow would be a bow. Bare hands, none. Dagger, dagger, sword, sword. Alright, I forgot to fix this last time because I took a bunch of weapons out that I'm not going to be using in the game. I never use status. I will use it once Yanflag gets his status menu core thing, whatever it's called. And then I'll check that in. But right now it's boring and I don't want it. And I never use formation. And I usually like to have a different kind of save option. I don't really like the idea of having to go up to the menu to save for some reason. At least not for RPG games. I'm not going to bother with elements right now, so I didn't bother last time when I made the video. For this, I'm not going to bother yet. These are the only 5 weapons there will be. Dagger, sword, axe, staves, and bows. Then there's going to be only light armor, light shield, heavy shield, clothing. That way you can wear clothing and armor, just like Morrowind. And then you can have accessories. And you have your main hand, your secondary hand. This doesn't really work right now, but I'm hoping to find a way to get that. So that you can have this as a weapon hand, a secondary weapon, or as a shield. And then you have the things, the items that can go on your head, whether it be like a hat or a helmet. And this is the body part. This would, basically this would be like the armor, the cuirass. I was thinking on doing like shoulders also in this area for the pauldrons, but I decided not to do that. And usually when you put on clothing, a shirt, for example, shirts usually come with the shoulder part unless you have like a muscle shirt. So the body includes the shoulders and the body. So the upper body. So and then the hands have it could be like clothing for like gloves, or it could be for like armor. Heavy armor I usually call it gauntlets, and for light armor I usually call the armor piece gloves also. For the legs, these are usually called greaves for armor, and that's not just an Elder Scrolls thing. That is actual fact. I looked greaves up, and that's what they used to call that armor piece in the old medieval times, basically. And the feet can be shoes if you want to wear clothing. This is the only clothing that you can't wear with the armor, I think. You can either wear like your shoes or boots or whatever I will have for the feet for clothing, or you can wear like the armor, which would be boots. And then you really can put. I believe there's 99 slots for this. I checked last time, and just to show you guys, um, I pressed 9 many times. That's how far as you can go. But for now, I'm gonna keep it at 10. Um, so you can really have a place for your neck. You can have like a necklace or an amulet. For the wrist, you can have like a bracelet or a watch. And then for the accessories, you can really put like thumb, index finger, or R. You could put something like R thumb, R index, R middle, R ring, R pinky. You can do all that stuff. You can have like you can do it where you can have like 10 rings on your finger, a ring on each finger. But I found that to be way overkill for an RPG game, a 2D RPG game at that, because I will be using the item upgrade. So if you have like the ability to have 10 rings, even though I would probably have it where you could only upgrade them once, I mean that's still you could keep just spamming like health items and just make yourself like god mode basically. So I just kept it simple. You got the neck, got the bracelet area, and then you got finger rings. I'm thinking I do have other piercings, like piercings you could do in a game, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can upgrade them. It would just be for pure imagination, really. Because none of these things, like whether you put the clothing on or the armor on, you can't see that in the game itself, unless you do a lot and a lot of work. Oops, I keep hitting my mic. So I don't like abbreviate things, so I have the level as level. I have the health as health. I decided to call this aura, so I have that as aura. I don't use TP almost ever, so I don't have that in there. I might, if I do use it, I'll change that eventually. EXP is good as it is. Max health, max aura, strength for attack, endurance for defense. That makes quite a lot of sense. Intelligence for magical attack, willpower for magical defense, agility, and I don't really do luck ever, so I always do wisdom. Though they're the same. I changed guard to block. I pluralized item. I changed equip to gear. Changed formation to order, even though I'm not using it ever. If I did, that's what I would use it as. I changed save to save game, and change continue to load game. So that's all I did last time, and I added a little bit there, and we'll check that out in the next video. So yeah, hopefully Bandicam doesn't mess up on me again. So goodbye.